Gauteng Finance MEC Jacob Mamabolo says the province is on target to meet its commitment to resolve the e-toll issue on the 31st of March 2024. Mamabolo was addressing media on the sidelines of the Gauteng Budget speech at the Gauteng Legislature. He says the province has approached financial institutions to raise the 12.9 billion rand to settle its share of the Sanral debt. SABC News reporter Liabo Setho has more for us.
Has one undoubtedly that has been looked out for by the residents of Gauteng, wanting to find out if the Gauteng provincial government will meet its target. And indeed today the Finance MEC, Mr. Jacob Mamabolo, confirmed to the House as well as to other stakeholders that come the 31st of March, which is a couple of weeks from now, that issue will definitely be solved. And he told us that he'll be going to the market to get part or some or maybe even all of the 12.9 billion rand that they had committed to National Treasury. But let's get the details from him about who exactly they'll be approaching and how much of debt are they willing to get. MEC, thank you very much for making time to speak to us here at the SABC. We've always obviously been quite interested in the issue of the e-tolls. You've given clarity, in your own words, the best clarity you've given so far. You are going to the market to get funding for this. You clearly have an appetite to increase debt on the balance sheet. Who are you going to, and at what cost to the taxpayer of Gauteng?
Let me say that indeed we are very pleased to reach this point about the problem of e-tolls that has been quite sticky. I think the first thing to say is to acknowledge that it has been very difficult. But when Minister of Finance, Honorable Gauteng said in 2022, government will absorb the debt, Gauteng pay 13 billion plus the money for maintenance, pending on your discussions with Sanral. These two conditions said to us, okay, we now need to look at how to get the money, both for the debt and the road maintenance. I'm very much pleased, and I've announced that as the provincial government, we have worked to make sure that first let me start with the maintenance condition. We met with Sanral. And in the discussions, we agreed that the 4.1 billion of road maintenance, hardcore maintenance, refurbishment, and of course, road rehabilitation, we don't have to pay it up front. That reduces the amount of money we were going to borrow, because Sanral has said, let's spread it over 4 years, and you don't need upfront payment. That also reduces the interest we're going to pay on that portion if we were to borrow. That means we have made progress to meet Minister's directive on road maintenance. The second part of Minister's directive was pay 13 billion to the debt. If you look at the budget we announced today, we are saying we are already penciling in from the new financial year that starts now in April the 1st.
This is the 160 billion that the budget, the overall budget.
Yeah, we are penciling in, of course, in the budget over the 3-year period, starting on the 1st of March. So, of April. Yeah. Apologies. So we are already showing that we are committed to pay. And as I'm saying, we have already penciled in some figures there so that we can say to the minister, we have appropriated money for purposes of meeting the directive you gave us and fulfilling our obligation on the debt. So that is there. It is for the first time we reach and we make this progress. Now the second issue is, so obviously the cost of borrowing the 13 billion, and thanks, we don't have to borrow another money, 4 billion. So, and we have started paying. So we say in the speech, if we go and take money in the budget of Gauteng, the money that we have announced, upfront and pay Sanral, it will collapse the budget of the province.
Is this the 500 over the 3 years?
This is the 12.5 billion or 13 billion that we have paid, because I've said over the next 4 years, there's an agreement we have with Sanral on how we are going to settle that. So that's first part.
But you said over the next 4 years, the agreement is on the maintenance of
That's on the maintenance, yes.
Yes, so this is now on the 13 billion that we
This
are
is on the
referring
13 billion.
Correct.
So I'm saying, on the maintenance, we have settled the minister's instruction to us. It's sorted because there's an agreement with Sanral. We don't have to pay it up front.
Right.
Let's go to the second part, which is the 13 billion,
Correct.
to the debt, not to maintenance. So that one, we then said, if we have to pay 13 billion up front, like here and now, Sanral get your money, it will collapse the fiscus of Gauteng. We don't have that money now, 13 billion.
Okay.
So what is the solution? The solution is to go to the banks and say to the banks, borrow us this 13 billion, we will pay you over a long time, because Sanral wants its money now, today. But we can't give them the money here and now. We want to give ourselves an opportunity for economic conditions to improve, for revenue generation to improve. Maybe the cutting of budgets will have also improved. So we want a long time. So it means we are going to start a new debt with the banks. Then we pay over a long time.